Ladies and gentlemen, daughters of destiny, queens in the making. Hear me when I tell you this. The storm outside of you does not define the strength inside of you. A life may shake you, betrayal may break you, the world may try to label you. Resilience is not built in comfort, it is born in chaos. God will not allow your pain to be wasted. He will take your midnight tears and turn them into morning triumphs. Somebody shout, I still rise, because a resilient woman is not one who has never been knocked, but one who refuses to stay down. And if you can stand through the chaos, God will use that very storm as the wind beneath your wings. Chaos doesn't cancel your calling. It doesn't matter how much confusion surrounds your life, how many storms rage against your peace, how uncertain the world looks right now. What God has put in you is stronger than what's happening around you. Too many times we measure our destiny by the noise around us, and we begin to think, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I missed it. Maybe I'm not worthy of the assignment. But let me tell you, the chaos is not proof that you're off course. It's confirmation that something powerful is about to be birthed. Woman of resilience doesn't run from the storm. She learns how to stand in it and declare, I am still chosen. Think about a woman carrying a child. The birthing room is not peaceful. It's chaotic. There's blood, there's pain, there are screams, and there are tears. Yet, in the middle of that chaos, destiny is being pushed into the world. If you judge the scene by the noise and the pain, you might say, this is disaster. But in reality, it is divine design. Just because your life looks messy doesn't mean your miracle isn't in motion. Your calling is not fragile. It is not canceled because life threw you into chaos. The birthing room is proof that chaos is often the doorway to destiny. Challenger, some of you know what it feels like to lose everything and still wake up with breath in your body. You know what it feels like to cry in the night and still show up for work the next morning. That is resilience. Maybe you lost your job. Maybe your marriage collapsed. Maybe your family betrayed you. Maybe the bills stacked up higher than your faith. And yet here you are, still standing, still hoping, still believing. That is not weakness. That is evidence that your calling survived the chaos. Life might have shaken you, but it could not cancel you. Consider Joseph, thrown into a pit by his own brothers, sold into slavery, falsely accused, in prison, chaos after chaos after chaos. But none of it canceled the dream God gave him. In fact, it was the chaos that carried him to the palace. If Joseph had given up in the pit, he would have never seen the palace. Sometimes the chaos is not your enemy. It's your transportation. What looks like a setback is secretly a setup, and maybe you've been in that place where you wonder if God even sees you in the mess. You pray, heaven seems silent, you fight, but the storm keeps raging. You feel invisible in the middle of the noise. But let me tell you, diamonds are never made in quiet gardens, they're formed under pressure. You cannot be a diamond if you are afraid of the crushing. Your destiny will not be canceled because of what broke your heart, because of who walked away, or because of what you lost. God's calling is not fragile. It doesn't snap in storms, it deepens in storms. Look at nature. A palm tree is designed for hurricanes. Other trees may snap. The palm bends and bows low, and when the storm passes, it stands tall again. Why? Because it was created with the ability to withstand winds. You are a palm tree woman. Life has bent you, life has pressed you low, but when the storm ends, you rise again. Chaos cannot cancel what God designed in your DNA. Even in daily life, we see this truth. A student can sit in a noisy classroom. The teacher doesn't cancel the lesson just because the room is loud. The lesson still goes forward. Pilot doesn't cancel the flight just because there is turbulence. The plane was built to fly above the storm. In the same way, your life is not canceled because of noise. The lesson still stands. The journey still continues. The calling is still alive. So when you walk through your own chaos, through bills that don't balance, through friendships that betray, through sickness that shakes your body, remember this chaos doesn't define your end. It only proves your resilience. What looks like disorder to you is often the very place where God is writing his masterpiece. And when you come out, you will look back and say, I didn't think I could survive it. I discovered that the chaos never canceled me. It carried me closer to my calling. Your scars are proof you survived. Scars are not ugly marks to hide in shame. They are living testimonies that you made it through what was designed to destroy you. The scar on your body, scar in your heart, the scar in your soul, they all whisper a story. I am still here. Too often we look at scars and see failure, we see mistakes, we see brokenness. But scars are the evidence that even though you bled, you healed. Even though you were cut, you did not die there. Your scars are not a curse, they are credentials. They qualify you to say to somebody else, if I made it, you can make it too. Think of a soldier returning from battle. The uniform may be torn, the body may carry wounds, but the scar across the arm is proof he fought and lived to tell the story. Nobody looks at a veteran's scar and says, you should be ashamed. Instead, they honor it as evidence of courage. The same is true for you. The scars of your heartbreak, the scars of your disappointments, the scars of your betrayal, they are not things to cover up. They are medals of survival. They remind you that what came to kill you did not succeed. Consider a mother who had to undergo surgery to bring her baby into the world. Years later, she may look at the scar across her belly and remember the fear, the pain, and the long nights of recovery. But that scar is also the signature of life. It is proof that a child was born, that something beautiful came out of something painful. That is what scars really are, reminders that out of suffering came survival, out of chaos came creation, out of pain came purpose. When Jesus showed himself to the disciples after the resurrection, he did not hide his scars. He said, look at my hands and my side. He showed them the evidence of the crucifixion, but he showed it not as weakness. He showed it as victory. The scars prove that death did not have the final say. Likewise, when you look at the scars in your life, they are not signs of defeat, proof that you outlived the attack. Sometimes scars are emotional, not physical. Maybe you carry the scar of abandonment, the scar of growing up without a father, the scar of losing someone you loved too soon. Life carved deep lines in your soul, but you're still here. You still laugh, you still love, you still dream. That scar is not evidence that you are broken. It is evidence that you are stronger than what tried to break you. In daily life, scars remind us of resilience. A tree struck by lightning may bear a deep line down its bark. At first, it looks damaged, but as years pass, the scar becomes part of its story. The tree still grows, still bears fruit, still stretches toward the sky. The scar does not stop its growth, testifies of its endurance. In the same way, the scars of your past do not cancel your future, they authenticate it. Think of athletes who go through surgeries. They often carry visible scars on their knees, shoulders, or arms. To the outsider, those marks may look like injuries, but to the athlete, they are reminders that they fought back, that they re-rehabbed, that they stood again. The scar is not the end of their career. It is the evidence of their comeback. Even emotionally, scars shape how we encourage others. A woman who has been through a toxic relationship carries emotional scars, but when she stands in front of another hurting woman, her voice carries weight because her scars prove her experience. A man who has overcome addiction bears the scars of struggle. His testimony is stronger because his scars say, I know the road you're walking. Your scars give you authority. They give you power to speak life into others who are still bleeding. Scars also change your perspective. You appreciate joy more deeply because you've known sorrow. You appreciate love more fully because you've known heartbreak. You appreciate peace more richly because you've known chaos. Without scars, your life would be shallow. Scars give depth to your story, weight to your words, and substance to your spirit. Every time you look at a scar, remind yourself that the wound has healed. The scar means the pain is not fresh anymore. You are not where you were. You are living proof that healing is possible. Scars are like bookmarks in your life, pointing back to a chapter that almost broke you but didn't. But they tell the world, yes, I was hurt, but I'm healed. Yes, I cried, but I survived. Yes, I was wounded, but I'm still here. Faith is the anchor in a shaking world. When everything around you is trembling, the ground beneath your feet feels unstable, when the news is filled with fear and your life is filled with uncertainty, faith is the one thing that keeps you from drifting away. An anchor doesn't stop the storm from raging. It holds the ship steady so it doesn't get lost at sea. In the same way, faith doesn't always remove the chaos, but it gives you something unshakable to hold on to while the storm is blowing. Without faith, you will be tossed back and forth by every wave of fear, every gust of doubt, every current of insecurity. But when faith is your anchor, you might bend, you might sway, but you will not be swept away. Think about a ship in a violent storm. The waves may rise higher than the vessel, the winds may howl louder than the crew, but if the anchor is deep enough, the ship stays in position. Your faith must be like that anchor, deep-rooted, secure. When people walk away, when money dries up, sickness attacks your body, faith says, though the storm is great, my God is greater. Faith keeps you grounded when the world is shaking. At daily life, a student facing final exams doesn't know if they will pass, but faith gives them the courage to prepare, to sit in that room with confidence, and to trust that their efforts will not be in vain. A single mother raising children in a world full of chaos doesn't know how every bill will be paid, but faith whispers, God will make a way. A man battling sickness doesn't know the outcome, but faith reminds him healing is possible. Faith doesn't eliminate challenges, it empowers you to endure them without losing your hope. Consider Peter walking on the water. The waves were fierce, the storm was loud, and fear could have drowned him. But as long as his eyes were fixed on Jesus, faith anchored his steps. The moment he looked at the storm, he began to sink. That is the power of faith. It allows you to walk on what should have drowned you. It doesn't always calm the sea, but it calms your spirit so you can keep moving even while the sea rages. Sometimes faith is all you have when logic fails. When the doctor's report says there's no chance, when the job rejection letters keep coming, the relationship you invested in falls apart, logic tells you to quit, but faith says, hold on, because God is still writing my story. Faith is that stubborn refusal to let go of hope, even when everything looks hopeless. It's the quiet assurance that God has already made provision, even when you can't see it yet. Think of a kite flying high in the sky. The wind is wild, unpredictable, pulling in every direction, yet the string in the hand of the flyer keeps the kite steady. Without the string, the kite would drift away into nothingness. That string is what faith is for your life. The winds of trouble will blow, but faith ties you to the hand of God, who never lets go. Even in the workplace, faith is an anchor. A business owner may face losses, a career may face uncertainty. Faith gives the courage to keep building, to keep showing up, to keep sowing seeds, even when the harvest hasn't come yet. Farmers know this well. They plant seeds into the dark soil with no visible proof of growth. They water and wait, trusting that in due season, something will rise. That's faith, believing in what you cannot yet see, holding on to the invisible until it becomes visible. In families, faith holds people together, parents praying over rebellious children, spouses standing through seasons of misunderstanding, communities rebuilding after disaster. What keeps them moving is not the absence of shaking, but the presence of faith. Faith becomes the glue when everything else is falling apart. It becomes the light when darkness surrounds. It becomes the calm voice saying, be still, you will make it. Your life will always have storms. The world will always have uncertainties. But when faith is anchored deep within you, you discover that you don't have to control the storm to survive it. You just have to trust the anchor. You may tremble, but your anchor will not. You may feel weak, but your anchor is strong. And when the storm passes, you will realize that it was not your strength that held you. It was your faith anchoring you in the God who cannot be moved. Resilience is a muscle. You must train it. Just like your physical body cannot grow stronger without resistance, your spirit cannot grow stronger without challenges. You cannot expect resilience to simply appear when life gets hard if you have not been training it in the small things every day. Muscles don't grow in comfort. They grow under pressure, under strain, under consistent use. In the same way, resilience is not built in the sunshine, it is built in the storm. Every difficulty you face, every obstacle you overcome, every tear you wipe from your own eyes becomes part of your spiritual workout. And the more you push through, the stronger you become. Think about an athlete in the gym. If they only lift light weights, their body will never change. But when they pick up heavier load, it's when their muscles shake under the weight, when they push past the point of comfort, That's when growth happens. Life works the same way. The weight of disappointment, the burden of rejection, the heaviness of responsibility, those are the weights that build your resilience. You don't get stronger by avoiding them. You get stronger by carrying them. You may not like it, but it's shaping you. In daily life, we see people training resilience without even realizing it. A single mother who wakes up every day, gets her children ready, goes to work, comes home tired, but still cooks dinner, still listens to her children's worries, still tucks them into bed. That woman is training her resilience muscle every single day. She may not see herself as strong, but every sacrifice, every act of consistency, every night she chooses perseverance over giving up is building an inner strength that cannot be shaken. Consider a student who keeps failing a subject but refuses to drop out. They study harder, stay up later, ask more questions, and take the exam again. Each failure could break them, but instead it becomes another rep in the gym of life. Every attempt is training. Every mistake is resistance. And one day, when they finally pass, the strength they gain through the struggle will matter more than the grade itself. Resilience is also trained in the quiet moments when nobody is watching. It's in the times you choose to forgive instead of holding on to bitterness. It's in the times you choose to pray instead of panic. It's in the times you stand back up after falling flat on your face. Just like an athlete doesn't see results overnight, resilience isn't visible instantly. But over time, your spirit becomes stronger, your confidence becomes firmer, your endurance becomes longer. Look at nature. Trees that grow in places with strong winds develop deeper roots. The very resistance of the wind forces them to anchor themselves more firmly into the ground. If there was no wind, the roots would remain shallow. The tree would fall when a storm eventually came. The wind is the training ground for resilience. The same is true for you. Winds in your life, the betrayals, the losses, the hardships are not sent to break you, to root you deeper so you can withstand greater storms in the future. Even in workplaces, resilience must be trained. Business owner may face failure after failure, yet they keep innovating, keep adapting, keep moving forward. Every setback is training. Every closed door is another push up for the soul. That training is what allows them to keep going when others quit. Many of the most successful people in the world are not the smartest or the most talented. They are simply the ones who trained their resilience enough to outlast the quitting point. Resilience training is also found in relationships. Learning to love after heartbreak is training. Choosing to trust after betrayal is training. Choosing to keep your heart open after being disappointed is training. Every time you love again, you are stretching the muscle of resilience. Every time you choose faith over fear, you are lifting a heavier weight. Every time you rise from rejection, you are running another mile in the marathon of endurance. The truth is, you don't know how strong you are until you are tested. You don't know the size of your resilience muscle until life places a weight on your shoulders that feels unbearable. And then when you push, when you press, you keep moving forward despite the pain. You discover strength you didn't know you had. That is the miracle of resilience. It grows in the grind, becomes powerful in the pressure. It expands in the endurance. And the more you train it, the more unstoppable you become. Life will test you. You are not here by accident. You are here by divine appointment. Every scar you carry, every storm you endured, every tear you cried has been building something unshakable inside of you. Do not despise the nights that broke you, because those very nights trained your spirit to shine in the morning. Do not hate the storms that shook you, because those storms became the very winds that lifted you higher. You are stronger than you think, braver than you believe, and greater than the world has yet seen. Somebody listening to me right now needs to hear this. You are not a victim of life. You are a survivor of storms. You are not broken beyond repair. You are a living testimony that God takes broken pieces and makes masterpieces. The world may be chaotic. Chaos is not the author of your destiny. Your faith is your anchor, your resilience is your weapon, and your scars are your credentials. You do not have to wait for everything around you to calm down in order to move forward. You are called to walk in the storm, to breathe in the fire, to rise out of the ashes. The lioness does not apologize for her roar, and you should not apologize for your strength. Every woman under the sound of my voice, lift your head and remember who you are. You are a daughter of the King, a queen in the making. No amount of shaking in this world can cancel what heaven has placed inside of you. When the enemy whispers, you can't, answer back, I already did. When doubt tries to creep in, declare, I've been here before and I survived. When fear tries to paralyze you, shout, I will not die here. I will live and tell the story of how I overcame. It doesn't matter how many times you've been knocked down. What matters is that you keep getting back up. The ground is not your destiny. Resilience is in your DNA. You were not built to break. You were built to bounce back. And every time you bounce back, you bounce higher. Look back over your life for just a moment. The things you thought would destroy you only made you stronger. The betrayals that cut you only deepened your wisdom. The storms that terrified you only trained your endurance. What was meant to bury you became the soil in which your roots grew deeper. That is why you cannot give up now. You've come too far. You've survived too much. You've overcome too many nights of weeping to surrender before the dawn. You are closer than you've ever been, stronger than you've ever realized, and more anointed than you've ever imagined. So stand tall even in the shaking. Walk boldly even in the uncertainty. Speak life even in the silence. Keep pushing even when the weight feels heavy. Because your story is not ending in defeat. It is unfolding in destiny. Your pain is not wasted. It is producing purpose. Your scars are not shameful. They are shining proof that you are a warrior. Your resilience is not accidental. It is intentional. Crafted by the hands of God to carry you through seasons you thought you'd never survive. Lift your head, straighten your crown, and take your place. You are proof that the storm does not decide the survivor. You are evidence that faith works, that resilience wins, that scars heal, and that destiny prevails. The world is shaking, but you are anchored. Life is heavy, but you are strong. The night may be long, but morning is already breaking. And when history looks back, it will not remember the storm. It will remember the woman who rose in the middle of it and declared, I will not be moved.